everyone, this is MeiYu and welcome to Fun Friday. Every Friday, I try to do something new, fun, or challenging. Thank you all so much for your likes, comments, and awesome name ideas and fan theories in my previous video. I'm really glad you enjoyed them and I loved reading your comments. Thanks everyone, very creative. So today I'm going to be doing another coloring video in my recent coloring book I made called Unicorn Utopia. And this time I'm going to be coloring the same image twice in the same book. The first time I'm going to color this image in just with my markers, and then the second time I'm going to color same image in the book with my colored pencils. And it's going to be really interesting to see how differently these two art mediums will look like once I'm done. And I cannot wait to get started. In case you have this coloring book, feel free to color along with me. And let's get started. I can't wait. Okay, so the first thing I'll be coloring is the mane here. And I think I'll start with yellow. The art supplies I'm using today are mostly my touch markers, which are really nice alcohol-based markers. I like to use them a lot in my other videos. And for the colored pencils, I'm using both my Crayolas and my Faber-Castells. In case you're interested, you can see all the supplies I use in my videos, as well as all of the coloring books I've released on my MeiYu bookstore on Amazon, and the link is right there in the video description. Already, I am loving how these two art mediums blend with the different colors that I'm using, from the yellows into the light greens and then to the dark greens. I love that soft movement of color. What do you think of the comparison so far between the markers and the colored pencils? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The texture of each is quite different from each other, and I did find out that the colored pencils, like when I first layer like the first colors down, it looked a little rough until I started to blend and add more layers on top. Then the blending made the colors look a lot finer. Honestly, I haven't used colored pencils since like high school, so it's been a long time, and it's definitely the first time that I've shown any of my colored pencil work on my channel. And in case you're following along in your own coloring book, I've put 2 sheets of copy paper underneath each image so it'll protect the next image in the book. And some of you have been asking for coloring tips for working in my books. I do have a tips page in the beginning of each coloring book that'll help you to make the most out of my coloring books. And generally when I'm working with markers, like I don't want to press too hard on the paper, otherwise there might be like a lot of ink that gets soaked into the page and some might go over the lines. So I generally don't press too hard. And for the colored pencils, like you can see that my tips aren't that sharp, the pencil tips, so they won't poke the paper as much. So yeah, I hope that these tips help. It's good that most of my coloring books have the images repeated in them, so in case there's a little accident, there's no pressure because you've got a backup. I like how I made her horn go from the light base, and then as it goes up it gets a little darker, a little deeper into the pink. And I really like the contrast of the dark and the light in the horn because I feel that gives this piece a lot more like depth, and I just find that really interesting. Okay, I think the unicorn is looking gorgeous so far, and now I'm going into these beautiful, intricate feathers. So as I was coloring this piece, I was thinking in my head, like, should I follow the regular like peacock colors of like greens and teals mainly? But then I was thinking if I do, it's gonna make the mane kind of look, I guess it's just gonna make things look too similar, like too many parts of this piece look too similar. And so I wanted to make the feathers stand out a lot from the other colors that I've used already, and I want to have a bigger contrast and like really bright colors in some areas to make this piece really pop. But you know, if you're doing the same image and you prefer peacock colors, you can go right ahead and do that, because the best thing is this is your art and your creation, and you get to say how this piece turns out. And you know, I think that's one of the best things about art, is you're in control and you can do anything you want. It's a fun part of coloring in my coloring book, and you know, you have lots of freedom to show your own creation. I like how, you know, when I was using the two different art mediums, I was still able to get some nice shimmery or shiny effects on the different surfaces, like in the feathers. I just left some white in different areas to make the feathers really look shiny. And I just like how, you know, with markers and with colored pencils, you know, the medium is different, but the technique, the way of leaving the light to show brightness or to show the shine is the same. I love how different the feathers are against the colors of the mane. Alright, I think this unicorn is looking beautiful, and now I'm going to go into these four corners in the back. At first I was thinking of making the feathers in the corners to reflect, like, I guess rainbow colors, sort of like how I did with the mane and the body of the horse, or of the unicorn. But then I was thinking, if I made the feathers like really, you know, like rainbow colors, it's really colorful. Nothing wrong about that, but I just felt, for my feeling of where I wanted to go with this piece, I felt that might have been a bit too much like variation of colors in the one piece. So then I was thinking, how am I going to do the corners and still have it like make sense in this design? And I was thinking, why don't I just use the same colors I did with the fancy feathers around her and just add them into the background, so that way it kind of ties in everything. But it's also not making the background stand out too much, because I want the unicorn to stand out the most. Throughout this whole process, I was mindful of how quickly I was layering the different colored pencil layers, because I didn't want the wax to build up too much. And so I would just go gently with the first layer, and then I would eventually add more colors on top. So I found that way it kind of minimized the amount of like waxiness I built up over time. I sped up some parts of this video, so it's a shorter video, as some have asked for. In case you want to see or learn more detailed coloring techniques from me, or watch my process in a less sped up way, check out my previous coloring videos on my channel. I'll throw up a video card at the top right corner for you, so it's easy for you to click that and start watching after this one. So I'm curious on what you think. In this video, I showed both coloring creations side by side, so you can see the comparison as I went. And let me know if you like this presentation better, or if you like what I had before in my previous coloring videos, where I showed each coloring image one at a time. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I like to leave the background white here because I felt that it shows my design better and it doesn't really distract from it personally, but you know, you can color it however you think will complement the colors that you chose. I also love how many of you are customizing the backgrounds in your own unique ways. I see them all the time on the MeiYuArt hashtag on Instagram. Keep up the good work, everyone. Alright, I am done the marker version, and I think the colors are just so gorgeous. Everything's just popping out at me, and I love the beautiful blending of the colors and the bright pops of the yellows here and there. It's so nice. I'm so happy with this. I am done the colored pencil version. I just think the colors look so gorgeous. I love the subtle like shading and the gradual like blending of the colors into each other. It's just so beautiful, and the shadows on the face, it just reminds me of this warm glow like a sunset. Okay, so what do you think of these? Like, which one do you prefer, the markers or the colored pencils? And also, what art supply or material do you like to use most? Comment down below. If you'd like to start coloring, I encourage you to get Unicorn Utopia, which has 25 brand new images I made especially for this book. And some of them have like a medium level of intricate details, and some of them are more intricate, like this design here. So, you know, there are so many beautiful details just waiting for you to color however you want. Imagine this is all finished. It's gonna look so gorgeous. And some other designs are simpler, like this one here. I love how her tears form into these gems and crystals and they just flow down like that. It's very beautiful and surreal. I put a lot of imagination and thought into making each of my coloring books. Like, I love she's kind of bringing in the night sky as she goes. So, you know, I hope that they inspire you to become more creative. And if you have artist block from time to time, coloring and just relaxing in a creative space can help you overcome that. The link to my MeiYu bookstore on Amazon is in the video description. Thanks for watching. Like, turn on the bell for notifications, and subscribe so you won't miss my future videos. I've got a new exciting one coming next Fun Friday. There are now over 70 books on the MeiYu bookstore on Amazon, all in one convenient place. The link is in the video description. See you next week. I've got another Fun Friday video. Till next time.